Hello everybody, assalamu alaikum, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing really well. As you can tell by today's title, I'm going to be talking you through my weight loss slash fitness journey, which I pretty much started officially in March of this year. Just to let you know that there's going to be a timestamp thing down below with all the different parts of this video, because I know that not everyone wants to sit and listen to the whole shebang, and I really didn't want to make lots and lots of videos on this. There will be a follow-up video talking just exclusively about the Chloe Ting 2-week shred, which I'm currently doing, and that will be up shortly after this video. But this video is kind of talking about, you know, how I started, why I started, what I'm doing, what is working for me, and then answer some of your guys' questions. So again, there's going to be timestamps down below, so if you want to skip to any of the parts, then please go ahead and do that. Let's start with the start. So as a child, I've always been very slim. I've had a fast metabolism. Even as a teenager as well, I was a friend who could eat whatever I wanted and not gain weight. And I really remember one of my good friends saying to me, "It's just not fair. You eat so many Skittles and you never gain weight. How is that possible?" And yeah, I just had a very, very fast metabolism. My mom and dad are both pretty slim naturally, so genetically, you know, I went on to them. But when I turned 19, I learnt to drive and I got a car, and I was going to the University of Northampton, and they have a drive-through KFC, which we do not have where I live. So it became a really, really bad habit, like a destructive habit, to go there pretty much every single time I went to uni. I would treat myself to KFC, and honestly that was definitely the start of a spiral of just eating pretty badly, because I have to give it to mum, and if you're watching, mum, thank you. You've always made sure that we've had a very balanced diet where you were only really allowed sweets once a week. It was like Friday sweets day or Saturday treats day, and it wasn't a thing that every single day you're gonna have a really sugary fatty diet. And at the time, like growing up as kids, you don't really appreciate that, but when you become an adult and you have all the choice in the world to eat whatever you want, and then you start eating the really fatty things and start gaining the weight, then you're like, oh, that might have been one of the reasons why mum wanted our diets to be, you know, better and more controlled. So yeah, I mean, growing up we had a pretty varied diet, I would say. Like, I would have 3 meals a day, lunch every day at school, breakfast of course in the morning. I very rarely skip breakfast. I would always have cereal at least, if not toast. And then for dinner, pretty much 3 to 4 times a week we'd have roti, so chapatis and salan, or sometimes rice once a week, and then we'd have a takeaway once a week, and then we'd have like oven food once a week. So yeah, it was a pretty balanced diet in terms of a mix between Western and Asian food, and I know that that's what really people struggle with a lot when they're just solely having an Asian diet. Sometimes it can be the case that you end up just putting on loads of weight and not being able to lose it, because Asian food can be very full of unhealthy fats and oils. Especially now that I'm learning to cook it, I've seen with my own eyes how much oil and salt goes into these foods, and so naturally South Asians are more prone to having diabetes, type 2 diabetes, because of the high fat content in our diets. But alhamdulillah, like, my mum is very educated on healthy eating and food in general. You know, in her job as well, she advises parents what to feed their children. That's sort of part of her career, and she's always had an interest in it as well. So I would say we've been very lucky to be able to have a super healthy diet from a young age. So like I said, it was only when I then was able as an adult to change my diet up and choose kind of what I ate is when my body changed. And obviously naturally your body's going to change as well. Your metabolism does tend to slow down in your 20s, and I definitely noticed that, you know, in combination with driving all the time, because to be fair, I didn't really walk that much anyway before, but I feel like in school I was walking a lot more throughout the day and getting my steps in than at uni. At uni I would literally drive all the way to uni, go just to my lecture, and then go back into my car. Like, I didn't really interact much. I didn't have the most sociable or interesting university experience. You know, I did hang out with some people, and I did go to some ISOGs, and I did go to some events, but I didn't do the most, and I wasn't very active physically. So I spent a lot of time in my car at that time, that period in my life, and I feel like that was definitely a contributing factor to my metabolism slowing down. But it wasn't that my metabolism slowed down at the age of 20 and then that's it. I've just been gaining weight. I kind of controlled it. And even in like 2017, like I've even looked back to pictures, I was very, very slim. I was probably like a size 8 to 10, and now I am a size 12, but I can squeeze into a size 10 if I really like breathe in a lot. But yeah, so I'm 25 now, and then obviously when I was 23 and a half, I got married, and what happens when you get married is that you end up eating a lot, I think, and I'm not sure that I know of any married couple who did not gain weight once they were, you know, past the wedding stage, because a lot of it as well is that you're working out, you're keeping really fit, you're eating the right foods before your wedding because you want to look your best on your wedding, and then what happens is you're starting to relax more, you're starting to chill more, you go out more, you chill out more, you also have a lot of davids if you're like, you eat lots of amazing food. Iqra is a huge foodie, like I'm a foodie and he's a huge foodie, so we could just eat and eat and eat, and that was kind of like our leisure time. Definitely like my diet after my wedding was not the best, and I'm not like saying it's Iqra's fault. It was, I'm an adult, you know, I can choose what I eat, but I think naturally you do just slow down in that honeymoon period. You just eat more and you relax more and you're less active. There's definitely a lot less running around, a lot less stress from the wedding. I feel like I didn't consciously lose weight for the wedding, but I feel like the stress of planning a wedding just naturally meant that I lost weight in the process. So yeah, that was, you know, like over the period of like January 2019 to sort of March 2020, I definitely put on weight. Now, I'm not somebody who weighs myself. I don't really like doing that. I feel like it's quite inaccurate, especially if you're working out. And it's quite unhealthy for me personally to be looking at numbers, and I get very demotivated when I see that I've gone like a couple of pounds up when I'm on a weight loss journey, because I'm like, I'm putting in all this work and my body is just not responding, when actually a lot of the times it's because you're working out, you're pushing your body, and that fat is being transferred, or it's becoming muscle essentially, and muscle weighs more than fat. So for me, I don't find weighing myself helpful. I will do it for my BMI, I will do it for things like that, but on the whole, I'm not someone who's obsessively on the scales. And my husband's parents' house, the scales are broken, which is probably a good thing, because I think I would have become really obsessed about the numbers. I also don't really measure myself. Yeah, I'm just not, I've never really been into that. And because, like I said, I was very lucky to have a very fast metabolism, I've always been slim. At some points, maybe looking back at pictures, I was a bit too skinny, but I've always been sort of skinny to healthy, slim, never really like overweight in my opinion. But it really took like a year of marriage, I would say, for me to realise like, oh my goodness, like I've let myself go quite a bit. And like I'd had comments before, like, you know, when people ask you,
oh, what are you expecting? Is a baby due? Oh, like, it looks like you've got some news for us.
and obviously that's a like subtle passive aggressive way of saying like you've put on weight, and that's not going to help as well. And then we've just had like the most crazy year, which I'm not going to go into because this video is not about that, but you know, we've been here, there and everywhere, back and forth, and a lot of traveling, a lot of time in the car, and then just moving to a brand new country, let alone city, and brand new country, adjusting to that. It definitely took a toll on my health, and not in the best way. But anyway, then come March, my sister-in-law had come just before lockdown started, and then my other sister-in-law was like living at home, she was on furlough, and so we were just like, we all really want to lose weight, and this is a time to do that now. We have all this time at home and we're here together. That's when like a kind of like fitness slash weight loss journey started. And the thing is, my primary goal was to lose weight, but the reason why I wanted to lose weight was because I felt incredibly unfit for my age. I was 24 and I was just like, why am I out of breath just doing like a simple walk down the road? That's not healthy, that's not normal, that's not okay. And then also I really wanted to feel comfortable to like wear nice clothes, and I've never really been that into clothes. I've always worn very modest, loose and shapeless clothes, but I was like, no, you know what, I want to make more of an effort with how I look, but I don't feel comfortable to wear certain clothes because I've got a muffin top and because my arms have got really big, and you know, I just wanted to feel really good in my clothes. And that's still the case for me now, is that I am working out so that I can feel better in my clothes, so I can feel better for myself, and so I can just not feel conscious of the way I look. There is nothing wrong with being bigger than average as long as you're comfortable with yourself, and that's what it comes down to, is if you are comfortable in your own skin, then you're doing fine, and if you are healthy, then you're doing fine. And I'm not saying that being overweight is equal to being unhealthy, but what I am saying is that I had become so unfit because of my inactive lifestyle that I had let myself go, both physically and kind of mentally as well, and it just wasn't a good mix. And what I was finding was that when I started these workouts, first of all, I felt like, oh my goodness, I'm so unfit, I can't even like follow a 5-minute workout video, it's too much for me, and I was just feeling really rubbish. But then because my two sister-in-laws were on the same journey with me, and they were at the similar stages of fitness as well, one of them I say is slightly more fit than me and the other one, but we were all on a similar sort of page, so it was really motivating to see that it wasn't just me comparing myself naturally to the person in the video, which I think is easy to do because you see like these really toned amazing women in like these tight little clothes and they're looking good, they're able to do the whole workout with like hardly like any being out of breath or whatever, as far as you can see, and then you're just like, I can't give up, I need to pause it, I need a water break, you know, and then that can have a knock on your confidence. But for me, because I had my two sister-in-laws doing it pretty much every single day we worked out, we would have a rest day sort of every 3 to 4 days, and then we would like go again, and we did work out really late at night because that's the time that worked best for us. But yeah, it was just amazing to start that. We started that in March, and literally within 2 weeks we could always already see how much fitter we'd become just from doing that. And we didn't necessarily notice a massive change in our weight, but we felt better, and that's what I think is so important about working out. Talking about like weight loss in a moment, but the whole fitness side of things I think is really, really important, because unless you are naturally doing 10 to 12,000 steps in your day-to-day life because your job involves that kind of physical activity, dedicating half an hour to an hour a day for at least 5-6 days a week is so important for your physical and mental health. And that's what I've learned like throughout from March till now to July, is that the physical aspect of feeling fit and feeling good in your body is so important. It's much more important than how you look, but obviously naturally if you look better you feel better, it's correlated. So the fitter I got, the better I looked and the better I felt, so it was like a nice positive cycle. But what we did find was that when we would take off more than 2 rest days in a row, or even 2 rest days in a row, the motivation that it took to come back to working out was so hard, because you'd feel like almost like you're back to square one and you'd have to like really push yourself and fight, and that was difficult. So I definitely say consistency is the biggest, most important thing within a fitness journey for me personally, is what I found. And doing it with other people, so even if you don't live with, you know, family who you can do it with, holding yourselves accountable in terms of maybe you can do it over FaceTime, or you can just have a group chat and just encouraging each other and pushing each other. Because I always find that when I started working out alone, I would have the best intentions and I would be going strong for like 2 or 3 days, and then I would just fall off. And like because there was no one there like sort of by my side being like, come on, like let's, have you got your trainers on, like let's start working out, I would just be like, meh, I'll try again another time. So yeah, definitely consistency and company. Consistency and company for me are the most important things. And then the third thing is like adjusting your expectations. So don't feel pressured by the video. When you first start on a video, you're not going to be able to do everything at the same pace as a person. Of course you're not. That's not natural. It's not physically possible. So don't think that, oh right, just because she is doing it, I should be able to do it, and if I can't do it, there's no point. Like, you're a beginner and this person is like up here and you're here. So it's like baby steps, and you can't put too much pressure on yourself. And what you will find as your journey goes on is that naturally you will become better and better and better, and that's the most fulfilling feeling ever. Is like, I could not plank for the life of me for like longer than 3 seconds. That's how weak my arms are. My arms are horrendously weak, but alhamdulillah, now I'm able to plank for a little bit longer than that, and it feels great. It's like, yeah, I did that, I built that strength up in me, which is amazing. Okay, I'm kind of running out of time now, so I think there might have to be a part 2 to this, but I will just quickly touch on weight loss and then I will go. Biggest thing about weight loss that you need to remember is that 80% of it is about food. You can be working out every single day, and then if you're filling your stomach up with way too much carbs, way too many calories, greasy, unhealthy food, it's going to be counterintuitive. Now, there's this amazing vlog, I've talked about her before, called Aisha Begum. She is on Instagram and YouTube, and she lost 10 kg just by changing her diet, and that is proof that you can do it too. But I know that's really difficult, especially like when you're Asian like me and you love to have your Asian food. That is difficult, but I have found that personally it's not about cutting things out completely, it's about adjusting your portion size, measuring your food, checking portion sizes, and for me, calorie counting is key. I'm going to be doing a whole different video on calorie counting because this is already getting quite long actually, so maybe I will do a few videos on this. But for me, weight loss, unfortunately, you're going to have to change your diet in some way, but it doesn't mean that you're going to have to drastically change it. It just means that you're going to have to make some conscious changes and be conscious about the food you're eating. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the sort of backstory to my weight loss and fitness journey so far. There will be more videos coming up about the activities I've been doing, the videos I've been doing. Your questions will be answered, and of course how I calorie count and why I think it's effective, because I know it's a bit of a hotly contested subject, but I never thought I could do it. I was always kind of like, calorie counting, not me, not ever, and actually it's made the biggest difference. But yeah, I need to go now, so I'll speak to you guys soon, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.